Let's get some more analysis now. We can cross to Brussels and speak to France 24's Dave Keating. Dave, thanks for joining us. Just bring us up to speed. What's the latest on this?
Well, this is essentially the culmination of a long-running dispute that started when 4 Catalans who were involved in that 2017 failed referendum were elected to the European Parliament in May 2019. At first, the European Parliament was refusing to seat them. That went on for a very long time until finally the European Court of Justice said, no, you have to seat them. The fact that Spain isn't recognizing them doesn't mean you don't seat them, because this is the directly elected chamber of the EU. It should bypass national governments. However, by then, one of those 4 MEPs had been convicted in Spain. So therefore, he lost his seat, but the remaining 3 were able to take their seats. And those 3 have been benefiting from immunity in order to avoid extradition to Spain all of this time. So you might think that today's vote by the European Parliament removing their immunity will mean that they will be suddenly extradited to Spain. But that's probably not going to happen, because there are other Catalan officials who also fled Spain here in Belgium. And the Belgian courts have refused Spain's extradition request, specifically for one official, Luis Puig, who is not an MEP, didn't have the immunity, and the Belgian court cited other reasons for not extraditing him. So it's unlikely that this change is going to result in a different ruling by the Belgian courts. It's always possible, but it seems unlikely right now. In the meantime, these MEPs will be able to continue fulfilling their duties. They're still able to sit in the European Parliament chamber, but they're unable to go back to Spain. The minute they enter Spain, Spain can arrest them. There are warrants out for their arrests, and that's why they've been here in Belgium for all this time.
And Dave, how does Brussels view that whole Catalan bid for independence? What's their position on this?
Brussels wants nothing to do with this. Ask any EU leader what they think about this whole dispute, which is a very long dispute, and they will say this is a domestic issue for Spain, and they don't want to get involved. That's the consistent answer from the European Commission. And it is their answer when it comes to any kind of secessionist movement within the EU. It was their answer for many years when it came to Scottish independence. The EU, of course, didn't get involved with that legal referendum that took place in Scotland. What will be interesting to see if that dynamic changes now that the UK, the state that Scotland will be seceding from, is no longer part of the EU. The big fear has always been contagion. If you have one region of the EU seceding and becoming an EU member state, then every region in the EU would want to do it, because you get a lot of benefits by being an independent member state rather than a region as part of an EU member state. You get veto power in the European Council, you get dedicated EU funding, dedicated MEPs, and so there is a real feeling that they want to put a lid on this. You will never hear, I don't think, an EU leader weighing in to the Catalonia situation unless to defend the prerogatives of the Spanish government and the cohesiveness of the Spanish state. But when it comes to Scotland, that dynamic may change, and that may be tested in the next couple of years.
Thank you very much indeed. France 24's Dave Keating in Brussels. Thanks for bringing us up to speed.